Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into my 2022 LEGO DC Superheroes prediction video. And if you didn't see, I've already done one on Marvel, and maybe we'll do some more for other themes if you'd like to see me do that. But when it comes to 2022 and DC, it is going to be a huge year for them. They have 4 movies releasing, which seems to be what matters to LEGO, and I believe that all 4 of them are presumably going to be PG-13, but we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to it. And also, it is actually the 10-year anniversary for DC Superheroes, if you didn't know that. Technically speaking, it is this coming December because the sets did launch early here in North America. But we'll let it pass that it's 2012 and not 2011. So that's really exciting. So we're going to talk about all that. You can find little chapters down below if you want to hop around and to see the different topics that we're going to talk about here. But the first thing I want to talk about is the potential for just generic sets with golden minifigures in it. And I don't really want to call them anniversary because I'm not quite sure what their plan would be for this next year. Because it's a little different than what they're doing with Marvel. With Marvel, they have a huge success right now in their hands with the Infinity Saga. And with DC, I just don't really know what they're doing besides Batman at the moment for me to be like, oh my goodness, they're going to remake the Javelin or it's going to be the Hall of Justice. I can't really say or predict any of that. I would love all those things. But I think for anniversary sets next year, personally, and I kind of mentioned this in the Marvel one, I'd really like some remakes of those original sets. I think that getting some of the first few sets from 2012 and 2013 would be really, really cool to get. Be it a new anniversary Batcave or something like that, or even like the Funhouse would be phenomenal to get. But I'm wondering, like, specifically when it comes to the Justice League, if we could be getting Lex Luthor's mech in some form and having Wonder Woman and Superman be in that, and or even Justice League members, more characters would be really cool. Specifically though, I'd love an Arkham Asylum because it has been a very long time since we've gotten it. I'd expect a Batmobile next year as well, since the last one that we got besides like this 66 one was back in 2019. So I think it's definitely time here that we do get one. I think it would fit really well here to get just a new Batmobile, even if it is very similar to some of the ones we've gotten in the past. But what I loved about that original wave is that it was also remakes of the 2006 sets with the Two-Face chase and the Joker chase and again the Batcave, so, and even the Catwoman chase. So the fact that, by the way, it's 15 years this year for the old sets, I think that it would be really nice if 10 years later they remake those. And I honestly wouldn't have a problem with that. I think that would be really cool to be getting those sets updated now, especially with how far like minifigures have come as well, with just getting more dual molded legs and stuff like that. Even arm printing is more common now. So it'd be really interesting if they did remake some of those sets. And the golden figures, in my mind, I know that some people really want like the core 7 Justice League, and depending on like which group you pick, depending on the founding members, it swaps in and out between Cyborg and Martian Manhunter. So I've thrown up here, and of course other members, but the main ones here, the 8, I think would be interesting if we did get them. Personally, I would only bank on Batman for sure if they're doing golden figures or anniversary figures. A Batman figure for sure. Then you would probably see as well getting Superman and Wonder Woman to have the Trinity, and especially since they were in the first wave of 2012 sets, I think that'd be really nice to get, as well as the Joker. I just feel like a golden Joker would just be phenomenal. I can see them doing some other members of the Bat family, like specifically getting Robin, I feel like could happen, and as well as even maybe getting Batgirl or Nightwing, I'm not sure. But another one that I'm like so confident that we could get would be a Harley Quinn. I just think that would work really well in gold as well. And I didn't do mock-ups for everyone, I just did a few because I'm working on a ton of other things. I don't have the time. But next year it is the 1992 Batman Returns anniversary, so I would be curious if we do get a vehicle from that, because they have been doing a lot of that recently. It'd be great to get Danny DeVito's Penguin as well as Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, as well as I've just been begging for such a long time for Batman the Animated Series sets. I think that Batmobile is just such a unique looking Batmobile, and the figures that we could get, oh my goodness. And then of course even the Arkham games would just be amazing. To get that Arkham Knight tank, I think, would be really, really great. And to get Arkham Knight as well, a unique character, I use that in quotations if you know his true identity, but I think would be really cool. Oh, there's so many things that now they're doing these, like, individual Batmobiles from different themes, it looks like, and they're going and reaching back and doing all these different things from important and popular IPs. I think would be great, as well as maybe follow up with the 66 set and the Dark Knight trilogy. There's definitely more things there, but that's probably a separate video to talk about. But anyways, let's move over to the movies coming out next year. There's 4 movies, like I said before. First one, we got the Batman, and you could check out a video actually talking about those sets in particular, because they were actually supposed to launch this year, so they were actually delayed, and now they're coming out next year. So it is really sad that we didn't get more sets this year. It would have been really fitting, of course. It just feels really incomplete without those. So those are the sets. Now, the other movies here, so with Black Adam, it'd be fantastic to get some of the characters in that cast, specifically getting Black Adam for the first time, to have a Shazam villain for the Lego Shazam that we have to fight up against, as well as Dr. Fate would be fantastic, and we'll circle back to him in a bit. The Flash movie, I'm so excited about. There are so many things just looking at some of the set photos. I won't spoil anything here, but there are specific small sets that would just be really, really great to get. If you've seen the set photos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It'd be really cool if we did get a set based off of that, as well as just the fact that there's Batmans in there. There's the Ben Affleck Batman, there's also the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman in there, and we know how well those sets have been doing recently, so I think that it would be great if we could get sets off. I think that that's honestly the one that I would bank on. Like, it's gonna happen. Flash movie sets for sure, I think, next year. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom as well, I think, can definitely happen. We did get the singular set, and then we got like the indirect tie-in with Ocean Master as well. So I would love if we did get Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom sets. I think that'd be really great to get. And then moving on over now to the helmets, and I know that this isn't particularly what a lot of people love when it comes to superheroes, but I really love them, or I guess I should say Star Wars as well. But with the helmets, I would really love to get the Flash cowl, even if it is, I would say, the Justice League one, which I could really see them doing with the huge, like, push for the Snyder Cut. If it was the Justice League Flash helmet, I think that'd be great. Even if it's not, if it is like the newer cowl from the movie, I think that would work as well. And speaking of those movies, I think that Dr. Fate could be a really cool helmet if they did that. Like, those pearl pieces to make the helmet would be so, so cool, as well as the Riddler from the Batman movie. It is a really unique look so far from what we've seen with like the wraps and stuff like that, even the goggles. I think that would be a really cool helmet to get, even if, let's say, it is R-rated, whatever. It is 18 plus, this set, so I think it would be so cool to get that look. Just, I'd be so interested to see how they would do that, the wrap and everything like that, as well as not necessarily from the movie, but Catwoman, I think honestly is just such a shoo-in to get a helmet regardless if there's movie sets. I really think like getting the red goggles would be so cool to get. And if they were to see the success from the Suicide Squad this year, Polka Dot Man would be really funny to get. This is a bit out there. Same with Bloodsport maybe, or heck, even Peacemaker, you know, with the show coming out. I don't know, I'm just saying here, there's a lot of helmets from that movie that would be great. It is 18 plus, so even if those movies are R-rated, you don't have to tie it in. And specifically looking at what they did with Venom this year, those were indirectly tied to the movie, or the, you know, I think it was definitely strategic that they released the Venom and Carnage helmets this year for the movie. Another thing though is just in terms of now objects, because we got to see that with the Infinity Gauntlet, I would love a Batarang. I think that would be beyond amazing to get a buildable Batarang. And there are so many other characters as well that you could do masks for, but I just think that these ones are really current. And again, if you could check out that other video if you want to hear more about what their thought process is when it comes to DC, some of the choices here that I mentioned, I think is exactly what they are looking for. And an advent calendar here, I wrote in my notes, be fantastic. I would love it. It is the 10-year anniversary. Even if we just ever got one, I think it would be so good. Just have it completely Batman based. Actually, I have a video of a custom advent calendar that I created myself a few years ago, so you could check that out. But anyways, everyone, I would love to hear your thoughts for the 10-year anniversary of DC next year. It is going to be a huge year. I will be beyond sad if they miss out on doing more things. I really hope that they put out some really great sets next year for the anniversary, as well as for these 4 movies I'm really excited about. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Who do you think could be the anniversary golden figures? Anything else at all. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.